Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we will be discussing A Little Princess. Now, I remember when this movie first aired on HBO, I used to love this movie so much. I used to watch it all the time when it came on Netflix too. So, I'm pleased to tell you guys that I have read the book, and even though the book is way different than the movie, there is still love and still heart in the book itself and in the movie itself. So, if you guys are familiar with the movie, we have our main character, Sarah Crew, who has her father, Captain Crew. Now, Captain Crew, in the movie, he served in the army, but in the book, he is a millionaire who spoils his little girl, and he calls her his little princess. So in the book, he is a millionaire, and and um and in the book, he is an explorer, and I think he's in the army as well. But in the book, it made it made her father seem like he was an explorer because he was digging for diamonds. I mean, that is the last thing that he wrote in his letter to his little Sarah before he got sick with jungle fever. And since he got sick with jungle fever, since Sarah in the book and also in the movie has no other relatives to speak of, this leaves her care to Miss Minchin. Um, 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 and Miss Minchin is, in, and Miss Minchin is, the lady of the boarding school. So, because she has no money, she must work as a servant beside her best friend Becky, who is also a servant. But I have got to say, I do enjoy their friendship in the book and in the movie, because even though she is very wealthy, Sarah is very wealthy, and she is very rich, she doesn't act like it. Even though she's only 9 in the book and in the movie, she acts very mature in the book and in the movie, taking care of all the younger kids there, teaching them French because she has mastered French. And the way that girl goes through books, it will surprise you. So with her being out of money and working for Miss Minchin. Oh, and by the way, I kind of felt a soft spot for Miss Minchin in the movie, but this Miss Minchin in the book, I do not like her, cause she stars, um, because she stars Becky and Sarah. But all is not lost, because the family next door, the family next door, um, 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 the kid's father, Ralph, has been keeping a close eye on Sarah ever since her father passed away. And the man Ralph had a surprise visitor, and it is the soldier who fought beside Captain Crew, and the soldier that fought behind her father. Since Captain Crew did nothing but talk about her, since Captain Crew did nothing um did nothing but talk about his daughter, because they really do love each other, and Sarah is very intelligent, and they really do love each other, and they really do love each other in the movie. So I think the writers did a wonderful job about showing how much they care, and I think they did a wonderful job with Sarah's character from the book in the movie, and I have really have been enjoying reading it, and although well done with the book and the movie, well done, spot on. And there are some things that I should point out that I think they handled in the book very well. Sarah's attitude to all those young children, especially as as Sarah's attitude between um Sarah's attitude between Lottie and Almagard in the movie is a bit different from the book, because in the movie, when she first loses her father and when she has no more money, she becomes a little bit cross with them when they ask how is she doing, is she still a princess, like she said she was when she first arrived in London. Oh, and by the way, in the book, the boarding school is in Paris, not America. In the movie, the boarding school is in America, but in the book, it is in Paris, and they arrived from England. So they went to Paris, to England, for the boarding school, because the dad is going to be off looking for diamonds and fighting fighting in the war. But but the but the father but the father's friend haven't found Sarah yet to give Sarah back her fortune, because he claimed the fortune from her father before he passed, and he made it his solemn duty to give the fortune back to her. But frankly, they had no luck. But Sarah wrote the mysterious guy a letter. Let me tell you how this works. when Mr. Ralph when Mr. Ralph found out that Captain Creek's daughter was there, him it was it was it was it it was it was Ralph it was Ralph the house solicitor and the dad's friend who snuck in and gave her all new clothes and made her a lunch spread and a dinner spread every night when she came from doing her work in her chores for Miss Minchin. So she never knew who the stranger was, leaving her gifts and food. And Miss Minchin started to get a little creeped out by who is sending you expensive gifts. You are nothing. You are poor. And all this mean stuff to her. But Sarah still stood her ground and said, I am a princess no matter what I look like. Whether I dress in rags or not rags. All girls are. So one night she decided to leave her mysterious genie a thank you letter. And yes, I'm calling him the magical mysterious genie because I like the way it sounds. But that's not really his name. His name is Ralph. Oh, I'm sorry, not Ralph. It's Randolph. His name is Randolph. So while Randolph is still searching, the dad's soldier friend is still wondering. The dad's soldier friend is still wondering where she is when she is right next door to him, and he does not know it yet because he's been searching everywhere except from next door where the boarding school is. But don't worry, we are getting there. Because Randolph, he stopped by the boarding school and he cleaned up the dinner. Oh, and did I also tell you after he cleaned up the dinner, he bought them all this expensive stuff for her and her best friend Becky, who I actually love. I love Becky. I love Becky so much. She is so polite. And Sarah is so cute. And I just love how she adopted little Liddy as her little stepdaughter when she was so excited about um, about not having anyone in her life. That is true sisterhood right there. But I have to say, I cannot stand. I can wait. I cannot stand Vidya in this book or the movie. Vidya is so mean to Sarah, especially when she knows that she's going through a hard time through the passing of her father. And Lydia told on her when Lottie, the little girl, since she don't know any better, she blogged about seeing Sarah in a basement with a lot of fancy stuff that Miss Minchin know that she didn't buy for her because she had no more money. She was broke. So Miss Minchin went down there one night and said, Miss Minchin went down there one night and busted up the whole little celebration that Almond Guard, Becky, and Sarah were having. and said, "Becky, you will be thrown out tomorrow." And she told Sarah uh, to clean the feast stuff that they were having, because Armengard had a lot of stuff. Hmm, 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 that Armengard had a lot of stuff that her auntie has given her. So she decided to share what she had with them. But before I tell you guys what happened, in the care package, they had like little bottles of the bubbly. Now I don't know if it's just a book, but why would you give a child wine? I mean, even if it's just a book, why would you give a child wine? So anyway, after Miss Minton busted up their whole celebration thing, Randolph came back in there and 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 gave Becky and Sarah a whole lot of stuff. And this is the part that Miss Minton hasn't figured out until like the very, very end of the book. And, until like the very, very end of the book, where a package does come. Where a package does come from um does does come for Sarah, and Miss Minton says, "Go ahead, open it." And this is the part where I'm mostly confused, because instead of getting mad, Miss Minton says, "Well, you are a very lucky young lady. You are a very lucky young lady. Getting presents from who knows where, from who, um, from who knows what." I mean, if Miss Minton would have checked next door, she would have saw Randolph and Randolph's children and the dad's best friend. But no, she just wants to think that Sarah is so spoiled. So at the end, so at the end, um, so at the end, he still hasn't found her, but he did leave her a note saying, no, she did write him a note saying how thankful he is, saying how thankful she is, to get all the things that she is getting. And I was just so happy for her. And I and I and I and I was just so happy for her that she got all her stuff. Um, that she got all her stuff. Um, from the dad's best friend, and I just think it's so honorable how the dad's best friend wanted to take care of her, because he feels like that is his duty, because um, um, because Captain Crew looked out for him when they were on their journey together. So I just think it is so sweet and it is so good for them to be doing this. And they actually do find each other, and she actually does get rich again. So I am just like so happy. I'm just, I'm I hmm, 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 hmm. I am just like so happy that the writers decided to go. I am just so happy that the writers does I I am just so happy that the writers decided to go on this route. Oh, and to prove how much I love Sarah as the main character in this story with her and her father, she is walking to the bakery one day to do to uh um uh, to do uh, um to do shopping for Miss Minton, and she sees this poor lonely girl without anything to eat. So what Sarah does is she gets this coin from this boy because the boy knows that she doesn't have any money. And Sarah ends up spending the coin for her and that girl to eat um um to eat sweet rolls together. And Sarah ends up eating one and giving all the rest of the 6 to that girl. And I just think it's just so wonderful of Sarah's character to care about others. I just really think they did a good job with the book. And overall, and oh hmm, 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 hmm. And overall, even though I did not like them taking the father out of the story, I hmm, hmm, I do respect the fact that Sarah, even though she goes through, even even though she goes through that hardship, I just think it is so brave how she never forgets who she is and that she stays true to herself and that she always thinks of her friends in that school rather than herself. That she is a very strong reader and that she is a teacher and that she has a wild imagination. So overall, I do not like them taking the father away out of the story. I do understand what the writers were going for because they wanted her to face hardship. She faced hardship and then she fought her way through it, and I just love the book so much. So in the movie, I love it so much. I love it so much. I mean, I could watch it on repeat, I'm telling you. A Little Princess is just so good. It is a flawless movie and a flawless book. And I will read it one day in the future. Bye. See you guys in my next video.